Hello, this is Miss McCauley, and this is Finding the Area of a Trapezoid Part 2. Please check your answers to the end of the Part 1 video first thing, and then move on to the rest of the video. Complete the note check when you've finished.
Okay, I hope you did a great job on those 3 problems. Stuart's here again to tell you what the answers were.
Wow, I wasn't kidding. Juneau, Alaska is very cold for scuba diving. I really should have a wetsuit. Anyway, back to those trapezoids. You should have gotten the following answers if you listened really carefully and calculated successfully with the order of operations. For number 1, you should have 100 centimeters squared. For number 2, you should have 14.6 meters squared. And for number 3, you should have 0.225 feet squared. I hope you got them all right.
What you might have done incorrectly. Okay, now it's time to use our algebra skills that we've used before when finding the area of a parallelogram and the area of a triangle. Sometimes we're given the area, but we're missing a piece of the information, like the height or the base. So let's see what we have to do for these. So look at number 3 here. The trapezoid has an area of 108 square feet. Find the height, and we're given the base 1 and base 2. So in this case, you would fill in all your information into the formula. We are missing the height. Now, look at how they got this equation. They have height equals 2a over b1 plus b2. Where did they get that? Because we started out with area equals 1/2 times the height times b1 plus b2. How did we get this height thing over here? That looks really complicated. So let me just show you what we did. In order to figure out what the height is, we need to get height by itself, okay? That's a variable. This is an algebra skill that you will learn in Unit 4, but I'm going to just show you how we discovered this formula. In order to get rid of this sum right here, this is being multiplied. b1 plus b2 is being multiplied by the height. In order to undo multiplication, you divide from both sides. So that would leave us with area over b1 plus b2 equals 1/2 of the height. So, we still want to get height alone. In order to get height alone, what you have to do is multiply by the reciprocal of 1/2. I know this sounds really tricky, but I just want to explain to you what's happening. In order to get that by itself, you multiply both sides of that equation by 2 over 1, because 2 over 1 is the reciprocal of 1/2. Okay, so then we are left with 2a over b1 plus b2 equals the height. Okay, so now that you can see how we figure out what the height is, you can plug the information that you have into this formula, just like we've been doing. So in this case, they told us that the area was 108 square feet. So you would put 108 in here for the A, just like they did. The 2 bases are on the bottom. So then you would have height equals 216, which is 2 times 108, divided by 27, which is 12 plus 15. If you divide that with your calculator, you will get a height of 8. So the height of the trapezoid is 8 feet. Now I find this still just a little bit difficult, so I want to go ahead and do D with you, and then we'll have you do E on your own and check in with Stuart. Okay, so let's just try this on our own. Let me just kind of move this around a little bit so we can do this. So in this case, we are told the area equals 24 centimeters squared. Base 1 is 4, base 2 is 12. What is the height? Let's use the formula that we have been given and figure this out. So height equals 2 times the area, which is 24, divided by base 1 plus base 2. Base 1 is 4, base 2 is 12. Now let's solve. H equals 2 times 24, which is 48, divided by 4 plus 12, which is 16. That means that age equals 48 divided by 16, which is 3. So our height would be 3 centimeters. I'd like you to do E on your own. I'll have Stuart come back and give you the right answer. Okay? Make sure to use this formula right here. Okay, good luck. Okay, let's check and see what Stuart has to say.
Wow, I've been scuba diving all day in Alaska, and now look, there's a beautiful sunset. I'm going to go for one more dive, but before I do, let me give you the answer to problem E. Hopefully you did a good job with that formula that you were taught. Your answer should have been 6 yards. Bye for now, diving back in.
How Stuart got 6 yards. Please make sure you stop and ask your teacher at this point. Go ahead and go to the last page for this lesson, please. Okay, we have kind of a real-world example here. The shape of Osceola County, Florida resembles a trapezoid. You can see that here. Find the approximate area of this county. Remember, approximate means sort of not exact. It can be an estimate. So, it says area equals 1/2 times the height times B1 plus B2. Well, we have B1 is 16, B2 is 48. Our height is 51. I'm not sure why we have to do approximate, maybe because they just don't want to have a decimal. But, so you would add 48 plus 16 and get 64. Take 64 times 51 and then times it by 1/2, which is 0.5. And then you will get, let's just see, I'm going to get my handy-dandy calculator out right now and do that myself. 0.5 times 51 times 64 equals 1632. So really, I don't know why it's an approximate, because that's exactly the right answer. So you can also see there's a little note right here that says to multiply 1/2 times 51 times 64. It's easier to use the commutative property to reorder the factors in this way, 1/2 times 64 times 51, because 1/2 of 64 is easy, it's 32. That's if you were using the fraction to try to multiply, and the commutative property simply means that you are allowed to switch the order of any number when you multiply or add. It could make it easier for you because mentally we can do 1/2 of 64 very easily. But in this case, you should be using your calculator for these problems for the most part. So you would just plug in the 0.5. Here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to answer the following questions all on your own. Find the area of this trapezoid. This one, you're given the area and the two bases, so find the height. Remember our formula for height. I'm going to write it on this page for you again. Height equals 2 times the area over base 1 plus base 2. Number 4, you have a nice real-world example where you are given the goal in a hockey, at a hockey place. And so the goaltenders can play the puck behind the goal line only in a trapezoid-shaped area as shown. Find the area of the trapezoid. They are giving you the base 1, base 2, and the height. So see if you can find that. And then the last thing is, how is the formula for the area of a trapezoid related to the formula for the area of a parallelogram? Tell us what you think is the same or different about those. And then lastly, please rate yourself. Are you ready to move on? Yes, no, or you have a question mark, like you need more help. When you've finished answering the questions and showing your work, please check your answers with Stuart and then show your teacher to show how you've done. Okay, hopefully you've done all your work, rated yourself, and are ready to check your answers. Once you get your answers from Stuart, please highlight any that you have incorrect and work on those with your teacher before you move on. It's always better to have a good understanding of these concepts before you move on to practice.
Wow, I'm still out on my sunset snorkel scuba event, and I realized I had a few more answers to give you. For number 1, you should have 68 meters squared. For number 2, you should have 90.4 feet squared. For number 3, you should have 3 feet. For number 4, 253 feet squared. And for number 5, you might have different answers. Don't forget to rate yourself and show these answers to your teacher before you move on. Bye for now. Great job.
Show these answers to your teacher. Great work on area of a trapezoids. Bye for now.